Does it work? Yeah, it does. Bon dia, everyone. Welcome. My name is Basile, as Daniel said it. I'd like to say that I'm a product software engineer. It's a fancy title just to say that I'm a guy who codes, that likes to build web applications to solve users' problems. And there are two things to know about me. The first one is that I want to write blog posts. And as you can see on my personal website, I'm still struggling with that a little bit. But I will improve, I swear. The second one is that I'm French, but this you already probably noticed it with my accent. And I moved actually to Lisbon 1 year ago before the conference was announced. So I'm like super pleased to be here and to see you all and to welcome you in my kind of new city. When I moved to Lisbon 1 year ago, I started Piga, which is a tool for companies to create real-time dashboards of their tech culture and to share them with their candidates. So, spoiler alert, I'm not recruiting, but I'm helping companies recruiting the best software engineers by being more transparent about their job offering. But we're not here to talk about Piga. We're here to talk about real-time product analytics with LiveView and to talk about how to build better web products. To me, great products is understanding. Understanding users' needs, right? What problem am I trying to solve? And also understanding the user usage of the current state of the product, which is the current state of the solution, and this is a moving target. So it's really important to have these tools that we call analytics because it allows you to observe the user behavior in the product. And by observing the user behavior, you can fine-tune precisely your product to the needs of the user. Observing, inspecting the user behavior, rings a bell. We're with the BIM, right? So we have observability tooling, tracing tooling that's already there in the runtime, right? And that's one of the main features that we love about, or at least that I love, about this stack and this runtime. And it's one of the features that is one of the specificity, right, of this ecosystem. So I really began to play with this idea with LiveView that a user is a process. So what if we could leverage all the existing tooling that we have for processes inside the BIM and use it in the product mindset to understand how the user is behaving? This process is the LiveView process, right? It's holding the state, server side. That's good for us because we can inspect everything. We don't have to fetch remotely each user to understand what's going on. Everything is on the server. And the process is holding, of course, the WebSocket connection with the client. And so I became really curious to explore what can be done with LiveView and the BIM in terms of analytics. And I'm going to show you an example, a live demo, so bear with me. And I hope that the server is running. It's not. There we go. Server is running. So we're in Lisbon, right? I like to surf. A lot of people here like to surf, and they enjoy Portugal coast a lot and the waves. So why not build a fake product for this demo, which is a surf marketplace? So it's a really complicated product. You can buy a lot of surfboards, as you can see. You can also sell your surfboard by giving it a price. And that's it. It's really a beta version of my surf marketplace. But what's more interesting about this product is that I have a little analytics dashboard which is of course protected behind a basic authentication strategy in production, of course. And this dashboard is doing very simple stuff in terms of Beam tooling, but in terms of product, I think it's really powerful. So if I emulate a user, my user appears immediately, and like I can have, let me adjust that a little bit. Yeah, I can have, well, several users. So if I open several tabs, they will all appear, right? And this is powerful because it's like real time, and I'm only using Beam primitives, right? I'm not bringing third-party tooling. So I really find this idea fascinating. So let me close for the purpose of the demo the other users who will keep only one. And what you can see is that since it's a process, I'm only listing root LiveView processes here. We can, well, inspect, for example, the assigns. So here, I can see that the flash messages are empty. The live action of my web page is indexed for now. You can see the live page of the user. And I'll also have a subset of the assigns that I call analytics, which is more like static data about who the user is, so I can better understand the usage of the product. So for example, here it's interesting because in terms of product, oh, my user is using my product on half the screen of his laptop. Maybe this will lead to discoveries about how I can think about the next features I want to build or the usage of the product as a whole. If the user is well, navigating in the product, it updates in real time. Still not buying any surfboards, but at least we're going to try to sell one. And the assigns are also updated in real time. So just to give you a quick look at the code, in my router, I have a dedicated admin scope, which is protected on production behind an admin pipe, so it's just like a basic authentication, as I said earlier. And this admin scope has an analytics page. And with this inside this analytics page, it's kind of basic, but again, just to show you how easy it can be with only Beam primitives to achieve such results, it's pulling twice a second the list of processes of LiveView processes. And when I'm listing LiveView processes, I'm listing, in fact, all the processes in my node or in my cluster, mapping them to filtering out them actually to keep only the LiveView processes, and then rejecting my own process, right? I'm not interested in the admin dashboard process, only the user one, rejecting the LiveView process that correspond to admin routes, etc. You get the idea. What I also like about this is that it's really easy, not with Beam primitives, but with LiveView primitive, to really understand how the user is using the product. So for example, here, let me close this. I can inspect live the events, the LiveView events that are sent in the WebSocket between my client and the server. And so I can understand, is the user, for example, directly typing the price of the surfboard, or is he using the buttons that I put there? And if he's not using the buttons, well, maybe that's a feature to remove, right? Just to show you, this hook events is really easy. It's like on mount, I'm just attaching a hook, sorry, this one, attaching a hook on all the handle event. And once an event is sent through the LiveView, I'm broadcasting this event on a pub sub. And really important here, you don't want to stop the reduction over the socket because you want the actual client LiveView to handle the event in the end. We're just hooking up to broadcast it to the pub sub, but we're not halting the reduction. What I like about this approach is that, as you've seen already, it's really close to the way we used to inspect processes inside the Beam, like with the observer, etc. We have the PID here, and we have, for example, the RAM that is consumed by the LiveView process. And actually, this RAM is an aggregation of all the child LiveViews of the root LiveView process. So you can see if a user is doing something funny with your product. If it's the case, well, you can kill him, and it's going to restart. So you start from a blank page, and maybe he's like misbehaving the product, and you don't want to take any risk for the other users. What I like even more is that, well, again, my user is a process. And with my admin dashboard, I'm also a process. And we're inside the Beam. So message passing is really easy. Hey there. Do you need help setting your surfboard? And sorry, I'm still adjusting to my new Portuguese keyboard. And so the user, he's not interacting with a website anymore. He's not interacting with a computer, an impersonal computer. He's interacting with the humans behind the product that are trying to solve his problem. And we, with LiveView, have an end-to-end platform of exchange between my users, the builders, and the product that is just the interface and not the goal in itself. We've seen several examples of LiveView for real-time updates on the clients, right? And building rich web applications that updates in real time without refreshing the page, for example. We've also seen quite a lot of examples of LiveView enabling us to build really easily real-time collaboration features between users. And that's amazing. And what I wanted to explore, and what I think we could explore as a community going forward, is LiveView enabling the builder to interact and collaborate with the users. In this spirit, I have started with a few friends a project which is called LiveRoom. It's an open source project. Code is open source on my GitHub. And the idea would be to insist on this builder collaborating with the user inside the product. So we could have, for example, Visio conference inside the product. Hey there. And live events, let me show you with the second screen, it's going to be way clearer. With live cursors, sorry, adjusting to the scroll bar, there we go. With live cursors, and that we can broadcast actually many things about the web application behavior. For example, the hover states, right? We could also propagate the click. If I want to show something to my user, I can maintain the escape key and say, hey, here is what you need to solve your issue in the product. We can propagate the focus text input, for example, and we can even propagate the text inside the text input. I'm really glad people are connecting to the website because I was going to ask you to do it. just to see if the small instance on fly.io can handle it. So please, if you have your laptop or your phone, don't hesitate to go to liveroom.app. And on your phone, you're just going to have to click around because like you don't have mouse move, right? So just click to, oh yeah, okay, quite a lot of people. That's awesome. And with your cursor, you can also like say, hey there, I'm Basile. Oh. All right, nice. Live demo, right? Okay. This is the power of the community. I love it. Yay! We broke the production. Awesome. So building web products is all about solving user needs using code. Code is important, of course. It's our job to know code well and to apply it well. But the humans interacting with the system are also important, if not more, actually. We are not writing code, we are building a socio-technical system, and we need, I think, to better understand the humans behind it and interacting with it. I just want to end this talk with a quote from Brett Victor, which is really inspiring to me. He has been quoted already yesterday, I think, in his famous talk about inventing on principle. He said that so much of creation is discovery, and you can't discover anything if you can't see what you're doing. Well, I think LiveView is a really great technology to say that so much of creating products is user discovery. And you can't discover anything if you can't see what your users are doing. Muito obrigado.
Thank you, Basile. Yeah, amazing talk. We have time for questions. Anyone has any question? Yeah. You have to walk a few steps.
Great talk, thank you. Did you also explore a little bit the persistence layer to the kind of data that you're accumulating?
That's a really great question, and I think it's on every people's minds, right? Like, is it creepy? Like, what about user privacy? Do I really want to be able to see that much data about the user behavior? I think the storage layer is it's at the center of this question. In my usage of this technology, I don't use a storage layer. I only use it to see the user behavior live in the product when the user is in context, and I'm not interested in saving it for later analysis. But I guess it depends on what you want to do, and I guess it depends on the legal rules that applies, right? And I'm not an expert on the legal rules, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, definitely a question to address.
Cool. Oh, yeah. One back there.
So, as an app grows and it gets more users, how would you think about like seeing which users to kind of like see the behavior of? And my question is like, this seems to work well when you have just a few users, but if you have a lot of users, you can get lost in all the information.
Yeah, great question. Again, my personal usage, I'm only at the moment building relative small scale applications, early stage projects, so it really fit my needs. I guess that's also a question that we could address as a community, like which tools could be built upon LiveView with this product mindset and that scales as well. A a quick answer that comes to mind, for example, is having the ability to easily filter those processes so that I can say, okay, I'm only interested in the user that are currently selling a surfboard, for example, and only that are selling their surfboard for like over than 500 euros. I don't know, like filtering, for example. But yeah, that's a good question.
Yep. Hi. Have you thought about, or have you tried already to rebuild the user flow? Like if you store those events, could you rebuild it exactly to see exactly what the user is doing again? Because that would be also very interesting.
We need to talk afterwards. Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure I have the skill set required to do it. But yeah, since the client is communicating with the server only with events in the socket, and that we can plug in and listen to the events, and the servers and the state, sorry, is on the server side, why not having a digital twin in the admin analytics dashboard, right? That replies the events, and so that you can time travel in the user journey in the product. Great question. Yeah. Again, I don't know if I can do it, but yeah, could be pretty amazing. We talk later.
Cool. Any more questions? So yeah, let's give a big round of applause to Basile. Thank you.